Welcome back to MooMooMath. We are finishing up the lesson 2, operations with functions in the composition and inverse function unit. Okay, we're right here on given h of x divided by f of x can't be what? Okay, we've been kind of talking about that limited domain, so let's write this function first. Okay, I'm just looking at the first page, and I'm going to write the ratio of that, what that function is going to look like. So h of x is x minus 2, and f of x is the denominator, and it is 5x cubed. And to look at a limited domain, we only look at the denominator. So what makes the denominator 0? What makes 5x cubed equal to 0? Well, let's solve. Divide both sides by 5. Cube root both sides, and the cube root of 0 is 0. So x cannot be 0, so that's our limit on our domain. So x can be all values except 0. So in set notation, that's from negative infinity up to 0, and then 0 to positive infinity, or you can say x cannot is all real numbers except x cannot equal 0. Okay, so a couple ways to write that and identify that. Now let's look at the commutative properties of operations with functions. Okay, can we add two functions and they end up being the same answer? And the answer is yes. So it does have, functions do have the commutative property of order of operations. So if you add f of x and g of x, it's the same thing as adding g of x and f of x. So yes, the commutative property of operations works. How about on subtraction? Can you subtract two functions and get the same answer? And flip it like j of x minus g of x and g of x minus j of x. Can you subtract them? The answer is no. No, that will make a different answer. Okay? So that commutative property does not apply to subtraction. How about multiplying? When we multiply like an f of x times an h of x, is it the same thing as multiplying h of x times f of x? And the answer, hopefully you're thinking, yes, it does. You can multiply and get the same answer. So it's just like commutative properties in general. Adding and subtracting are okay, but you can't, adding and multiplying are okay, but subtracting and, of course, dividing is a big no also. You will get a different answer when you divide. So, if does g of x divided by h of x, is it the same thing as h of x divided by g of x? And the answer is no, it's not the same. So division property does not apply, and the commutative property. Okay, at this point in the video, I'm going to stop and let you guys give these a try. You've got adding two functions, subtracting two functions, dividing two functions, multiplying two functions. Remember, when you divide, list any limit that you have in your domain, and that limit is based on the denominator, or whatever, in this case, the p of x function cannot be, or what will make it 0. Hope this note-taking guide was helpful, and you're learning something about operations with functions.